In this lesson, we will learn about cross-join. Cross-join produces a result set that is the number of rows in the first table multiplied by the number of rows in the second table. So for each rows, we are multiplied by the entire rows of the second table. Here, if we want to select product name, category name from products, we call it P. So products table has 77 rows, and we do cross join with categories table, let's call it C, and categories table has 8 rows. So what it will do, it will multiply it one by another, and in the total table, in the result, we'll have 616 rows. It's called Cartesian product. Notice that if we use where and relate the two tables with a related column like customer ID and customer ID, so we filter out all the duplicates columns. Let's see it in an example in the SQL Server. So here we have the products table. Let's just run the products table. So select asterisk from the products table, and when running it, we have 77 rows. If we run only the select asterisk from the categories table, we have 8 rows. The 8 rows will multiply by the 77 rows of the products. So the beverage we will see 77 times if we cross join them. Notice that we don't need to use on because there is nothing that is connecting between them. So if we cross join between them, we will have 616 rows. Let's look only on the beverage, where category ID equals 1, and run this. And the category ID we need to relate it to one of the tables because it belongs to both of them. So this is P, and the second one is C. So the C from the categories. Let's run this and see how many tables we have, how many rows we have. We have 77 rows because the category, this one category, is multiplied by 77 rows from the products table. And if we look on category number 2, still 77 rows. The select asterisk from the categories, though in the categories we have only 8 rows, each row is multiplied by 77 times. This is why if we look on the category 2, condiments, and run it, when cross join, we see this condiments, and let's go to the category ID number 2. In the categories table, we see it 77 times because it multiplied. Also, category number 3, let's look at this table and run it. And it multiplied by 77 times. Each category in the categories table is multiplied by the numbers of the products, of the rows in the products table. So each of them will multiply by 77 times. This is why if we don't use where at all, we have the entire 8 categories multiplied 77 times. And this is why we see 660 rows. We see category 1, 77 times, then category 2, 77 times, 3, and so on. For each category, for each row and column in the category table, it will be in the product table 77 times. The only way not to multiply is to use where and connect between the category ID. So here if we do it, we get only 77 rows. The amount of rows of product table. Now let's run asterisk so you see everything. With the where, we see that for each category it gets the amount of category needed. We have only 2 categories in number 1, so from the table of categories we get only 2 rows. Because this is many in categories, this is many to 1 to many. So the 1 is multiplied by the many. We have in categories only 1 row of 1, but when we connect it to products, so it multiplied by many, by 2. But not more, because the where we want only rows that are connected in category ID. So the where in cross join is like on of the other joins syntax.